Hi guys, Juice here. I am here with a new video for you guys today. Today I am here with the Finally Fall book tag. I don't know who created this book tag, but if I find out who created it, I will leave it down below in the description bar. I will also leave the questions down below in the description bar in case you guys want to do this. I will be tagging a few people at the end of this video. So there's 10 questions here, and as you can see, this deck of books are sneak peek to what I will be answering to. And I do have my questions written down in my notebook. So like I said, there's 10 questions here. So without further ado, let's get on with it. The first question is, in autumn, the air is crisp and clear. Choose a book with a vivid setting. For me, I am picking Girls of Storm and Shadows by Natasha Neong. This is a sequel to Girls That May Burn Fire, which came out 2018. This one came out last year. I pre-ordered this book because I was super excited for this because I read book 1 last year, and I really enjoyed it. And I actually had an e-arc of this from James Patterson's Presents imprint that NetGalley has, and I was able to get an e-arc of this before it came out. So I started reading this in like November before it came out, and then I just never finished reading it for some reason. So this was actually the very first book of 2020 that I read, so I'm really happy I kicked off my 2020 reading year with this one. And I really enjoyed this. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I know this isn't a wrap up, but the reason why I picked this book for a vivid setting, because this is set in the winter time for these two main characters. And when there was one scene that I remember very vividly, and it was when they were going across these mountains, and it reminded me a lot of the Lord of the Rings scene that happened in the Lord of the Rings movies, and I just pictured that scene but with these characters, if that makes sense. So I really enjoyed this one, and I'm gonna move on to question 2. Question 2 is, nature is beautiful but also dying. Choose a book that is beautifully written but deals with a heavy topic. For that one, it is Tristan Strong Punches a Hole in the Sky by Kimon Mabala. Ignore my ugly sticker right here. I got this at Target during the summertime, and I just was trying to get the sticker off, but it never came off properly, so I'm just leaving it as it is. This was such an amazing middle grade book. I picked this one for this question because this deals with the topic of grief and loss all at the same time. At the very beginning of this book, we find out our 7th grader, Tristan Strong, loses one of his best friends, and his best friend leaves this notebook behind, and he goes on this journey to discover why or how his best friend died. And there's mythology in the story as well, and I never knew like what the story was actually until like I picked it up myself. I hear like the title going around in the middle grade world, but I just never knew how like much it dealt with grief and how much it affected Tristan. And I'm really excited. The sequel comes out next month actually, and I pre-ordered book 2, so hopefully that will be in a book haul for you guys soon. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this one. Definitely trigger warning for loss of a family member and loss of a friend, so watch out if that's a sore subject for you. And then question 3 is, fall is back to school season. Name a book or nonfiction from a nonfiction book you learned something new. For me, I don't really read nonfiction, so I'm kind of gonna skip that question. I'm gonna go to number 4, and that is, in order to keep warm, it is good to spend some time with the people that you love. Name a fictional family, household, or a group of friends that you loved. For me, I would choose the Weasleys from the Harry Potter universe, but I don't really support J.K. Rowling anymore. We won't go into it in this video or just on my channel in general. Just look up J.K. Rowling controversial stuff that she's been making over on Twitter. But I found a new book that I read this year and I really, really loved, and that is The Kingdom of Back by Marie Lu. This is Marie Lu's newest novel that came out this year, and I read this in May or April, one of the 2 months that we were quarantining. This is a sibling story, so it follows Mozart and his sister. Mostly follows Mozart's sister because you don't really hear a lot about her sister, or his sister, I should say. And so Marie Lu decided to make it the main character's sister. I forgot her name. Nanoir? I don't know how to say her name. I can't remember how to say it. But I listened to this via audiobook earlier this year and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And yeah, just the sibling aspect in here I really enjoyed. And I love a good like sibling dynamic in this story. The next the next question I have is, the colorful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us a pile of fall color spines. And for me, I have all of these to show you. Just look at these spines. I have Pumpkinheads by Rain Morrell, Far From the Tree by Robin Benway, The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan, The Fountain of Silence by Ruta Sepetys, and last but not least, I have an autobiography by Christina Lauren, which I love all of these books. So going on to question number 7. The night are getting darker. Share a dark/creepy read. For me, I put these books backwards, and that was Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. This was my second Riley Sager book, and I brought this camping with me when I went camping as a family back in June, and I read this in like 2 or 3 days. It took me a little while to read it just because I did read this before the audiobook was out, and so I really enjoyed this. Trigger warnings for death of a family member, and also for snakes and like haunted house stuff, I guess is the trigger warning. I don't know if that counts for a trigger warning or not, but I'm really happy I read this one. It's definitely one of my top 5 favorite books of 2020, and I will definitely be talking non-stop about Home Before Dark. And then the next question I have is, let's see, the days are getting colder. Name a short story or a short heartwarming read that you can help somebody on a cold and rainy day. And for me, I picked, these are so backwards. I picked Heartstopper Volume 3 by Alice Oseman. This is the 3rd installment in this graphic novel series. Book 4 comes out next year, and this is a male romance series, so it's definitely LGBT, and it's very easy to read and easy to fly through. Like, the artwork is like this. This was actually another one of my favorite books for 2020, so this week you will see in a 2020 favorite reads type of video at the end of this year, hopefully, if I can narrow down my list. I don't want to say much about this one in particular, but if you haven't picked up Heartstopper yet, you should. It's really amazing. It's on Amazon now, because I had to order this through Book Depository, but it's on Amazon now, so definitely check this out. And it's such a good pick-me-up read, and I just really love this, and I can't wait for Volume 4 to come out. And then the next question I have is, fall returns every year. Name an old favorite you would like to return to. And for me, I would love to return to Cinder by Marissa Meyer. This is the first book in the Lunar Chronicle series, which was very popular back in the booktube days. This, I marathoned the heck out of this series when I first was reading it. I remember buying book 3 at Barnes & Noble, and then I remember buying book 4. Well, I actually didn't buy book 4, but my brother bought me book 4 for Christmas the year it came out. So I just remember getting each and every book and just being very excited for this series. Each of these books are a retelling of a certain fairy tale. And so this is Cinderella, and then of course the rest of it you guys know. This is a very popular um, series on BookTube, and I don't really need to explain much of this, but I would definitely love to go back and read this series in general, and hopefully if I will love it or not. And then I noticed that I skipped a question, and that is, let's see, fall is perfect time for some storytelling by the fire. Share a book that someone is telling a story. And that is Maya and the Rising Dark by Raina Barron. This is a book that I featured in my August book haul recently, which I'll leave down below if you haven't checked it out yet. I'm still currently reading this. I am not that far into it, but as of what I read in this book, it's a Greek mythology aspect to the story, and it was also his father, or her father, is this Greek god, and her mother is a human, and so she's discovering that she is part human and a Greek god. They call godlings in the story, and so her father is just telling her all the stuff that's been happening in their world. And so I haven't finished this one yet, like I said, but I definitely will be finishing it this weekend because it's just really good and I can't stop thinking about it. And I don't have a lot of thoughts or feelings yet, except that I'm really enjoying it, and it's such a fast read. So I have this much left to read, and hopefully this will be in my September wrap up. And then I also noticed I forgot to mention for a book that is dark slash spooky read is The Shadows by Alex North. This is for question 7, which I answer Home Before Dark with, and so I really enjoyed this one. I read this one during the summertime, and it was just super creepy when I read it, and it sets in a forest, so anything with dealing with forest in a murder mystery, adult murder mystery novel is really creepy, and it was one of my new favorite books of the year as well, so look forward to that type of video soon. So yeah, those are all the questions answered, and I am really excited to be filming for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this book tag. I tag my friend Heather, who I'll leave her Instagram down below. I tag my friend Charlie. I tag my friend Mandy to do this, and my friend Taylor to do this. So I'll leave those 4 people down below and call them out on YouTube. And I hope you guys will do this tag. It was very fun for me to do, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll talk to you guys later down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I'll chat with you guys later. Bye.